The book of Joshua. Let's back up and remember the story so far. So God chose Abraham, and then his family became the people of Israel, who are then enslaved down in Egypt. And so through Moses, God rescued Israel out of Egypt. He made a covenant with them at Mount Sinai, and he brought them through the wilderness. So Israel then camped outside the promised land, and Moses called them to obey God's commands so that they could show all the other nations what God is like. The book of Joshua picks up right after Moses has died, and Israel's ready to enter the land. So the story of Joshua is designed with four main movements. Joshua first leads Israel into the promised land, and then once they're there, they meet all this hostility from the Canaanites, and so they engage them in battle. Then after their victories, Joshua divides up the promised land as the inheritance for the 12 tribes, and then the book concludes with these final speeches that Joshua gives to the people. So let's dive in and we'll see how all of it flows together. The first section begins with Moses' death, and Joshua is appointed as Israel's new leader. And the author intentionally presents Joshua as a new Moses. So like Moses, Joshua calls the people to obey the Torah, which means the covenant commands that they were given at Mount Sinai. And then Joshua sends spies into the land, just as Moses did back in Numbers chapters 13 and 14, except it goes way better this time. In fact, even some Canaanites turn and follow the God of Israel. Joshua then leads all Israel across the Jordan River and into the land. Just like the sea parted for Moses in the Exodus, so here the river Jordan parts and the priests carry the Ark of the Covenant across, leading all Israel with them. Now, in chapter 5, the story transitions. So the people look back to their roots as God's covenant people, and so the new generation is circumcised and they celebrate their first Passover in the land. But then they turn and prepare to go forward. And Joshua has this crazy encounter with a mysterious warrior, who, it turns out, is the angelic commander of God's army. And Joshua asks, "Are you for us or are you for our enemies?" And the warrior responds, "Neither," which shows that the real question here is whether Joshua is on God's side. It makes clear that this whole story is not about Israel versus the Canaanites. Rather, this is God's battle, and Israel is going to play the role of spectators or sometimes supporters in God's plan, which leads to the next section. We find stories about all these conflicts that Israel had with different Canaanite groups. And the first part retells the story of two battles in detail, and that's followed by a series of short stories that condense years of battles into a few brief summaries. So the first two battles are against Jericho and then Ai, and they offer these contrasting portraits of God's faithfulness versus Israel's failure. At Jericho, Israel is to take a completely passive approach. So they let God's presence in the ark lead them around the city to music for 6 days. And just like Rahab turned to the God of Israel, maybe the people of Jericho would do the same, but they don't. And so on the seventh day, the priests blow the trumpets and the walls come falling down, leading Israel to victory. The point of the story is that God is the one who will deliver his people. Israel simply needs to trust and wait. Now, the next story of the battle at Ai makes the opposite point. So there's this Israelite named Achan, and he steals from Jericho some of the devoted goods that were to belong to God alone, and then he lies about it. It's a pretty lame move after all that God has done for Israel. And so Israel goes into battle with the city of Ai, and they're totally defeated. And it's only after humble repentance and severely dealing with Achan's sin that Israel gains victory. And so together, these two stories, they're placed right up front to make an important point. If Israel is going to inherit the land, they have to be obedient and trust in God's commands. They don't get special treatment. Now, the second part of this section begins with the Gibeonites, a Canaanite people group, and they do just what Rahab did as they turn to follow the God of Israel and they make peace with Israel. This is in contrast to all of these other Canaanite kings who start to form alliances and coalitions, and they want to destroy Israel. So Israel engages them in battle, and they win by a landslide. And so this whole section concludes with this summary list of all of these victories won by Moses and then by Joshua. Now, let's stop for a second, because odds are that these stories and the violence in them, they're going to bother you. And if you're a follower of Jesus, you're bound to wonder, like, didn't Jesus say to love your enemies? Why is God declaring war here? So, first, why the Canaanites? The main reasons are actually given earlier in the biblical story. It's that the culture of the Canaanites had become extremely morally corrupt, especially when it comes to sex. Go check out Leviticus chapter 18. And they also widely practiced child sacrifice. Go see Deuteronomy chapter 12. And so God didn't want these practices to influence Israel. The Canaanites had to go. Which raises the second question. Did God actually command the destruction of all the Canaanites, like a genocide? So at first glance, you look at the phrases used in these stories. They totally destroyed them. They left no survivor or anything that breathed. But when you look a second time more closely, you'll see that these phrases are clearly hyperbole and not literal. So go back to the original command about the Canaanites in Deuteronomy chapter 7. Israel is first told to drive out the Canaanites, but then to totally destroy them. And then that's followed by commands to not intermarry with them or enter into business deals with them. So you can't marry someone that you've destroyed. I think you get the point. The same idea applies to the stories in Joshua. Look closely. So for example, we're told in Joshua chapter 10 that Israel left no survivors in the cities of Hebron or Debir. But then later in chapter 15, we see these towns and they're still populated by Canaanites. And so what we're seeing is that Joshua fits in with other ancient battle accounts by using non-literal hyperbolic language as part of the narrative style. And so the word genocide doesn't actually fit what we see here, especially in light of the stories about the Canaanites who did turn to the God of Israel, like Rahab or the Gibeonites. God was open to those who would turn to him. The last thing to think about is that these stories mark a unique moment in Israel's history. These battles were limited to the handful of people groups living in the land of Canaan. With all other nations, Israel was commanded by God to pursue peace. Go read Deuteronomy chapter 20. So the purpose of these battle stories was never to tell you, the reader, to go commit violence in God's name. Rather, they show God bringing his justice on human evil at a unique moment in history and how he delivered Israel from being annihilated by the Canaanites. Now, let's go back to the book's design. After years of battles, we see an aging Joshua, and he starts dividing up the land for the 12 tribes of Israel. And most of this section is like lists of boundary lines. And let's be honest, it's kind of boring. It's like reading a map that has no pictures. But for the Israelites, these lists were super important. This was the fulfillment of God's ancient promises to Abraham that his descendants would inherit the promised land. And so now it was all coming to pass right down to the detail, which leads to the final section. Joshua gives two speeches to the people that are very similar to the final speeches of Moses in Deuteronomy. Joshua reminds them of God's generosity, how he brought them into the land and rescued them from the Canaanites. And so he calls them to turn away from the Canaanite gods and be faithful to the covenant they made. If they do, it will lead to life and blessing in the land. But if they're unfaithful, Israel will call down on itself the same divine judgment that the Canaanites experienced. They'll be kicked off the land into exile. And so Joshua leaves Israel with a choice. What is Israel going to do? That's the big question that looms as the story ends, and that's the book of Joshua.
Hello, everybody. So second day in a row, I was able to commission Ben to get UE5 working. So Yakuza, I see. Okay. I Today, instead of focusing on UE though, we're going to hop back into React. We're going to convert some old JavaScript code so that I can present it to the folks that I want to work for, because this is very similar to what it is that they're doing. But I hope, Mighty Lion, that you can pick a game. I'm not sure what Ghostwire is. It sounds fun. I don't like Cyberpunk, but I do like Yakuza. Yakuza seems like good fun. I wanted to show Joshua because I want to start off with a little bit of story time. There is a character in Joshua 2, and her name is Rahab. Rahab is one of my favorite characters in the Bible. She is a Canaanite prostitute, And once I had started going back to a church I started going to here in LA. It was a Korean one, but I always had gone to the English service. My mother pushed me and said, "Why don't you go to the Korean service?" I said, "Well, you're so sweet, Madeline. Thank you. I washed my face with some new Korean product. Ooh, there is a Korean national product, but you're so sweet. What is what? What is what?" But so my mom goes, "Go to the Korean service. They probably have headphones to translate." And I went at her behest, and the story happened to be about Rahab. And the pastor went a little further into this. Yeah, of course, there's prostitutes in the Bible. They're quite popular in the Bible. As he was talking, he spoke of circumstances in the old days that may have put a woman in this position, which, in my opinion, doesn't quite matter. But I couldn't help but think of my mother. Once upon a time, I had looked up my mom's name online, and I found that she was arrested twice back in the 90s for prostitution. You all have heard probably already that she is a hostess. She runs her own bar, and that's when you purchase a drink, just like in Yakuza, for a woman. She sits with you, and they may or may not make side deals. But when the pastor was talking of Rahab, whether or not this was of her own volition, she could have been sold by her father. There could have been a number of reasons why. I was crying so much. So when I went to church to go see my father, I felt like I saw my mother. And all around, they're all Korean people. They're older as well. And, my mom doesn't live here in California. She lives in Hawaii. I just felt like my mom was all over the place. And so I want to open with the story of Rahab from the perspective of the artistic book that I am a big fan of. And let me hop into this here. Give me just a second. This is not tarot, this is reading. Just for a little bit, and then we'll hop right into the code. So we'll start off first with Joshua 2. It's a short story. Yeah, no shame either. My mom would say things to me that would be so sad. She had never felt like she was worthy of even having children. And so the last time she visited, I wanted her to understand that everyone needs somebody like her. She's always someone who wants to uplift others no matter her circumstance. And she feels that she herself is blessed. And I reminded her, when it comes to the bar, Mom, people need you there too. Some of the loneliest places in the world are bars. So it was a great time when she was here with me. But she is a very lovely woman. So, oh my gosh, no work. CJ Gabriel, thank you. You don't have to, but I hope you enjoy your day at work. Thank you again. So, I read Rahab and the Spies. So, we saw this earlier in Joshua. Joshua had sent out spies to go check out the land of Canaan, and this was the land that was designated for the ancient Israelites, but it was already inhabited by a people. We see the Canaanites appear again in the New Testament, and this is when Jesus is encountered by a Canaanite woman, another lovely story, with a mother who is trying to exorcise a demon from her daughter. But because he was sent for the Jewish people, he denied her at first, just to see how she'd respond. Venus, hi, my love. Hello. Talk about prostitutes. No problem. You go into your meeting. I'm so glad to see you. I can't wait to see you again. But yeah, you go enjoy your meeting. So, Joshua 2, Rahab and the Spies. Then Joshua, son of Nun. No. Don't worry. Go. Thank you, Mighty Lion, for the shout outs. You're so sweet. You don't have to shout out. People can just click on each other's names. Joshua, son of Nun, secretly sent 2 spies from Shittim. Go, look over the land, he said, especially Jericho. So this was it was a fortified city named Jericho. So they went and entered the house of a prostitute named Rahab and stayed there. The king of Jericho was told, "Look, some of the Israelites have come here tonight to spy out the land." So the king of Jericho sent this message to Rahab, "Bring out the men who came to you and entered your house, because they have come to spy out the whole land." But the woman had taken the 2 men and hidden them. She said, "Yes, the men came to me, but I did not know where they had come from. At dusk, it was time to close the city gate. They left. I don't know which way they went. Go after them quickly. You may catch up with them." But she had taken them up to the roof and hidden them under the stalks of flax she had laid out on the roof. So the men set out in pursuit of the spies on the road, and as soon as the pursuers had gone out, the gate was shut. Before the spies lay down for the night, she went up to the roof and said to them, "I know that the Lord has given you this land, and that a great fear of you has fallen on us. So all who live in this country are melting in fear because of you. We have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you when you came out of Egypt, and what you did to Sihon and Og, the 2 kings of the Amorites east of Jordan, whom you completely destroyed. When we heard of it, our hearts melted in fear, and everyone's courage failed because of you. For the Lord is your God, and God in heaven above and on earth below." Hi, Tacos. I appreciate you. Almost done with this part, okay? Almost done. This is a very short chapter, okay? So Rahab is describing how she and her people have heard of these Israelites. They've heard of what Moses had done, part of the sea, through the hand of God, and it makes them scared. She's scared. She doesn't quite know of this God, but she does know of the stories. So their legend precedes them. She feels that she's hiding these spies for good reason, mostly out of fear. And we move forward. "Now, please swear to me by the Lord that you will show kindness to my family, because I have shown kindness to you. Please give me a sure sign that you will spare the lives of my father and mother, my brothers and my sisters, and all who belong to them, that you will save us from death." So she's aware of why the spies are there. We're talking about Rahab today, a Canaanite prostitute who hid the Israelite spies as they were scouting out the land of Canaan. To which they reply, "Our lives for your lives," the men assured her. "If you don't tell what we are doing, we will treat you kindly and faithfully when the Lord gives the land." So she then let them down by a rope through the window, for the house she lived was part of the city wall. She said to them, "Go to the hills so the pursuers will not find you. Hide yourselves there 3 days until they return, then go on your way." So they're telling her, you make sure. Well, let me just continue, because this is almost done. "Now the men had said to her, 'This oath you made us swear not be binding us, unless when we enter the land you have tied this scarlet cord on the window through which you let us down. Unless you have brought your father and mother, your brothers and all your family into your house. If any of them go outside to your house, onto the street, their blood will be on their own heads. We will not be responsible.'" So they're giving them a promise. When it's time to attack, tie this scarlet rope so that we can see it. Nobody from your house will be attacked unless they step outside. So you got to stay in the house. "As for those who are in the house with you, their blood will be on our head if a hand is laid on them. But if you tell what we are doing, we will be released from the oath you made us swear." "Agreed," she replied. "Let it be as you say." So she sent them away, and they departed. She tied the scarlet cord in the window. When they left, they went into the hills, stayed there 3 days until the pursuers had searched all along the road and returned without finding them. Then 2 men started back. They headed down out of the hills, forded the river, came to Joshua, son of Nun, and told him everything that had happened to them. They said to Joshua, "The Lord has surely given the whole land into our hands, and all the people are melting in fear because of us." So, Rahab is part of a bigger plan. The plan that God has put in place, that he promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to give them a land flowing with milk and honey. Okay? And an unlikely character, I feel, a prostitute. But from this woman, when it comes to the lineage of Jesus Christ that's written in the book of Matthew, the start of the New Testament, we will find that from the belly of this prostitute comes kings and our Messiah. So very special. Biggest story to take from this. It doesn't matter what someone does for a living. We can never judge their role in this life. Unbreakable. I like walls, so this is from her perspective. "Walls make me feel secure. They protect me from bad weather. They give my family a safe place to rest. They let me shut my eyes in peace every night. But walls also make me feel trapped. It's hard to see past the barricades when you're stuck in a life that's hard and hopeless. Walls give me a place to hide when lustful men bang on my door, even after my body's already had more than it can take for one day. Walls help me guard my secrets, the ugly truths I'd rather not share with the rest of the world. I've used every wall, every curtain, every blanket, every fortress I can find to shield myself from endless pain and heartbreaks. Walls are also good for stowing away strangers, including the 2 who showed up at my house one night, looking for a place to stay. Stay out of sight is what they really meant. I've heard of these people, these Hebrews, desert dwellers mostly. They'd escaped slavery in Egypt long before I was born, and had roamed out in the wilderness ever since. Rumor had it they were finally making their way into Canaan, destroying their enemies one by one along the way. I liked them. Word on the street is they worshiped some special god, a very powerful god who would actually love them. Can you believe that? A god who loves people? I'm sorry. I couldn't imagine anyone, a god or otherwise, who would love someone like me. Our city was old, said, so I'm sorry, give me a second. Our city was old, says some of the oldest in the world. Our massive walls had protected us for hundreds, even thousands of years. Who could we possibly have to be afraid of? Yet the officials here in Jericho were on the edge because of the 2 scrappy spies on the hills. The city was saturated with fear. Not long after the 2 strangers arrived, there was another knock at the door. This time, guards from the king's palace. I rushed the strangers up to the roof and hid them under piles of flax I'd been drying in the sun. The king sent us for 2 Hebrew spies, the guards said. He knows they came to your whorehouse, so bring them out. When you're a prostitute, you get very good at lying, which I did. They were here earlier, but they're gone now, I told the guards. They probably left town by now, but you might be able to catch them if you hurry. The guards took off like hungry wolves. Then I darted up to the roof to check on the Hebrew strangers. I know who you are, she whispered. Everyone's talking about you. They say your people escaped Pharaoh's army in Egypt, and God made a path for you to walk across the Red Sea. I heard you crush every army that gets in your way. People are terrified. We'll be your next victims. We don't even have the heart to fight you. It's because your God is so powerful, a God above all others, a God who loves you. Then I did something I'd never done before. I let down my wall. I opened myself up to these Hebrew strangers and their strange, loving God. Somehow, I want to be a part of that. I just have one request, I said, since I've helped you today. Would you spare me and my family? When you conquer Jericho, will you let me and my loved ones live? Maybe it was asking too much, but something felt right about lowering my defenses with this God who was mightier than any wall, even the one around my heart. You have our word, the Hebrews promised me. You've been kind to us, so we'll be kind to you too. I took a scarlet rope, don't ask me why I have a scarlet rope, and lowered it out of my window. I told them to climb down and head into the hills, where they could hide for a few days until the king's guards stopped searching for them. Just before they left, they gave me these instructions. Leave this rope here out your window. Make sure you and your family are all inside. As long as we can see the rope, you won't be harmed. We swear. The men said to me, and then they disappeared. A few weeks later, they were back, along with 40,000 soldiers. We expected a fight, but it never happened. Instead, they simply marched around the city while their priests trumpeted on ram horns. One day, then 2, and then on the 7th day, they circled the wall 7 times. Then they stopped. They screamed at the top of their lungs. The ground shook. I covered my ears to block out the thunderous explosions of stones cracking all around me. Like a house of cards in the wind, Jericho's walls collapsed and crumbled into a pile of rubble. Everything was destroyed, except for my home, just as my Hebrew friends had promised. God saved me and my family. City walls weren't the only ones God demolished that day. God broke through the blockade between us two. That day and every day since, the only wall around my heart has been the unbreakable fortress of God's love. So, I appreciate you all for sitting with me and reading through that. It's so powerful to me, the role that the Bible does give women, despite I know how it has been used to as a weapon against anyone who disagrees with us. And people just tend to do that. We'll take any bit of information just so that we can have our way. But what I understand about God, he doesn't force his way onto us. We have warnings, but it's mostly an invitation, okay? And for her, someone who has no idea, God makes it very clear in Jeremiah that I have shown myself to those who have not asked for me. And I appreciate that very much, as he did with Rahab. So when, again, I was in that church and the pastor was speaking of Rahab, I couldn't help but think of my mom. And then when she came, I retold this story to her. And we just cried and cried. And so she continues to have the same profession that she does, and with a little more pride. But it's nice to see you, Naptime boys. And I appreciate you, Cyrus. Yes, Dark Goose. It is emotional. A lot of these stories are. They, especially with the Old Testament, it's mostly people who feel and know that they are flawed, and God works with them anyhow. And that is what I wanted to share before we dive into code. So, again, that's Joshua, the story of Rahab. When we track the lineage of Jesus Christ, she is one of his ancestors. Hi, Johnny. It's nice to see you too. How are you? Go into the code. And just to share a bit too, this is the Bible Project. Really lovely resource.
So the Bible is one of the most influential books of all time.
So it's two folks who went to the same Christian college, and they just take the Bible. They take out all of the petty fighting that people use the Bible for, and they just simply explain contextually what each story means and who it was talking to. So they have a great saying. They say that the Bible is written to us, but not for us. So you'll notice that there's all kinds of different churches and different ways that people practice. And this is very much encouraged through scripture as you read through. There are lots of laws in the Old Testament that we don't follow anymore, but some people do choose to. That is everyone's choice. But they just go ahead and write down the context, the who, the author, the times. I highly recommend it. One word, they translate into all different languages. And it's really been nice to see from their perspective, especially the patterns that they find in each book. So give it a chance. It's so worth it. It's so worth it, and it's never, what's the word I'm looking for? It's never oppressive, because that's what we have been used to. Oppression. All right. So, last, yes. So reading the Bible itself can be challenging, okay? Because you're like, who are we talking to? Who was the author? But if we couple it with supplements like the Bible Project, then you're like, I get it. Because they'll piece together different portions of different parts that you may or may not have gotten to. They're all different. Some is historical, some is poetry, some is gospel. It's just all different. It's like a compilation it's like a tiny library with genres all over the place, so it can be challenging. Now, so we were working with Unreal. This is Unreal Engine here, and this is an older version. So what I was trying to show yesterday was just like the basics of downloading Unreal Engine 5 and just sort of getting used to it. So games like Fortnite are built with this engine. You can do your AWSD. I'm not obviously a PC gamer. Okay, so when it comes to keyboard and mouse, it's difficult for me. But so this is a project that I'd worked on with a buddy of mine for Mitsubishi. Once upon a time, they made airplanes. You've seen, yes. So we worked on this. Mitsubishi, this project tanked. They didn't really do well. All they cared about really was that it didn't crash. Okay, but so the portion that I worked on was the front end, the interface, and I'll show you what that looks like. So it's just a little series of buttons that communicate with the engine itself. So it looks like nothing here, okay? But whenever we click these buttons, it triggers something from the engine's side and things happen. So these are what we call hotspots. And when we put it together, this is what it looks like. Okay, so you probably can hear it. So that's the engine running, okay? Roll around. Let's go inside. Let's go inside. Things happen. They do. But this is supposed to, you're able to look around. This is also meant, while you can touch this with a touch screen, you can have this in VR as well. Okay. So when it comes to any of the 3D art, we have separate 3D artists who made this all happen. Okay, back outside, and then your basic infographics and stuff that we don't really look at. We got a video here somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert the JavaScript side, these buttons that were created to make calls to the engine. I'd like to rewrite it in React. Yeah, no, it's really fun. Yeah, they didn't go through with it, so Mitsubishi doesn't have a plane, so this really doesn't belong to anybody. But this is going to be the starting point for what I present to a place that I'd like to work for. And wow, it's pretty loud. But so my husband's company, they actually do, they make flight simulators. Honestly, I don't really have a lot of interest in working with the 3D side of things, but if this is what this company requires, I'm gonna try, okay, because I have just a little bit of experience there. Oh, Goosey, stop it, you're so cool. So I have here, I'll show you all, this is the portion that I had written, and let me make this full screen. So if you all are unfamiliar, it's called jQuery. jQuery is a really simple framework that utilizes JavaScript, has its own methods in the background. You don't have to write them on your own, things like fade and hide. Now, this was kind of at the beginning, not the beginning of my career, but when I was sort of mid-level. But we're reading from a profile, okay, that is generated by the CMS that Ignis, you see him pop in here sometimes, that he created. Not complicated. Let me make it a little bit bigger. It's not. It's it's all repetition patterns. So this common JS, we kept it in 2 files. What I think I was doing, and this is a long time, this is like 5 years ago. What I think I was doing was uploading my logic into the CMS, and I was pulling it down. I can't quite remember. That's what I think. Now, we're not going to use this content management system. We're just going to go ahead and rewrite it. It's going to be a little challenging to do on stream. But we'll start off with just opening up a fresh React project. Oh, also, when I was trying to get React Native working, Ben actually had to change something in some setting in the BIOS that I would have never figured out. And so, anyway, how is everyone else doing though? So let me see. React, TypeScript, init, initialize, init, project. No. Not Ben's company. Hi, Bob. No. Fifth. We have similar. There's different companies that we have mutual friends with and associates, and one that I had gotten an offer before, I turned down because of the last company. Yeah, no, I can't be working with it. No, I'm gonna piss him off. It's just gonna be fighting constantly. I think I already installed React, so I should just be able to do this npx create React app, my app. But how are you, Bomb? What are you doing? What are you doing, Bomb? Okay, so we're already in projects. Let me see. So we did cards before. Okay, we're going to let's make a new and make this bigger. Let's make a new directory. MK dir, so that's make directory MK and then directory. And we're going to call it Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi. Okay. And then we're going to cd into the directory. And then you can tab complete. And then hopefully, so I'm going to paste what I had just copied. So we're going to create a new React app, but I want to write it in TypeScript, okay? It can be tedious, sure. You mean you're gonna be on your bicycle? You're gonna your standalone bicycle, and then we're gonna call this. What should we call this? Ronin. What do you want to call this app? We can call it whatever because it really doesn't matter. You can just call it Ronin. Ronin. Because we're rogue. We don't work for anybody right now. Go. Yes. Well, it's running the packages. As far also what I'd like to do, but this is later on, as we wait for this, the tarot card mini website that we had made, I'm going to try to convert that to a mobile app. The grunting. So, Bomb, whenever you're working out, and I hate working out, but whenever you're working out, do you have like a tracker for your heart and then how many calories you've eaten and how many calories you burned? I find if I don't know, if I don't set these kinds of goals, and I really don't want to like do it anymore. I'll do it like for one day. Boggles your mind, don't you? You silly, y'all are cute. So it's not that hard. Promise. Okay, so we're going to cd into Ronin. We're going to go into Ronin. Not inappropriately. npm start. Okay, go. Yay. So localhost, that's your machine. Yay. So this is the project. It's running. Okay, brand new. This is not for a game. So what I had just showed, my love, when it comes to, I'll just play it one more time. All these little buttons here, I'm going to recreate this front end as it speaks to Unreal Engine. Rewrite it from jQuery to React because that's what that company provides. Not provides, but requires. Okay. They also have their own layout here, so the communication between the two, they have their own plugin. This one is from a previous company that I was a part of. Start tracking. Good. Try is really important. Try is the most important. Okay. So we have that running successfully. Let's go ahead and open that up. So I am going to do a new window. I have no aliases right now. Let's segue a little bit into alias. Okay, let's see what we got so far. Oh, nothing. That's okay. Let me see. We're going to cd into, what was it called again? It was Mitsubishi and then Ronin. I wonder if I can just... Nice! Okay, so that's an alias. Alias is short for a command. So you can add a word. Oh, very sweet. Very sweet. So that's short. Let's say that you have a long command and you don't want to write it all out. You're going to give it an alias. So that command code, it is short for open, and it picks the executable Visual Studio Code. And then it looks for the parameter. I put a dot to mean here. But I could also do, and let me show you this. So let me cd backwards. So 2 dots, we go back out. Let's do one more, cd dot dot. So if I only wanted to open up the Mitsubishi folder, we're gonna do code and then Mitsubishi. And then it will open up that folder. So that's a parameter is an argument. That's what it takes in. What is it that you'd like to open using the Visual Studio Code executor? Okay, so we're gonna leave this open here because we're gonna need this. We're gonna close this here because all we're focused on right now is what's within this project. So I'll put this on the side. Close this out. It's super large. Copilot's not connected. We don't need Copilot for now. Copilot is really nice. It's autocomplete for any code it thinks you want to do. It's not always accurate. That's okay. So what we see here, this edit source app, we're going to put that on the side so you can see the changes in action. We'll do here. TSX, that's TypeScript. When people traditionally use React with JavaScript, I would like to use TypeScript so that we can have a little more organization. It requires us to declare what sort of variables we're using, whether or not a variable is a string or a number or an array or an object with just TypeScript. And you'll see in the example that I have here, you can just do whatever you want. Var means variable. Clear events. What is a clear event? It says any. That's not really that great. Var combine commands. I should have written that it is, well, so you can with ES6 declare, I think, if that's what Ben was saying. We can declare what these variables are. But see, all these things, ID, sub-ID, we don't know, no one knows what they are. Horrible way of writing things. And TypeScript forces us to be clear with what everything is. Okay. No problem, Ronan, you go. I appreciate you for stopping in for a moment. Okay, so we're gonna convert this to TypeScript. Okay. But just so that you all can see, let me hop in here. Oh, girl, I can't be, I'm not even trying to work out. You know, like even thinking about it stresses me out. So let's open up. Yeah, no, Bomb, good for you. What is the goal though? Like, what are you trying to achieve? You're trying to get a 6-pack, a 4-pack, a 1-pack. So it says edit source app TS. We'll do edit, and then we'll put in here and save to reload yo mama. Okay, so it should reload right away. Perfect. That's exactly what we need. Because with the other side, let me grab it. It's here. It might not seem like a big deal, but every time I make a change, you got to reload. Example. And this is really important when we set up our dev environments. So let's put, so common, we'll do stage name. We'll change all the stage names to last updated by, okay, and then refresh. See, so it's going to get so annoying to refresh. Oh my gosh. Hello, sexy Jeff. You're so sweet. I appreciate you. Hello, everybody. We're coding right now. We'll say hi to everybody. Hello, everyone. It's nice to see you. I'm T-Berg. We're coding now. So super fun. For those of you who don't really enjoy coding, no pressure to stay. But thank you, Sexy Jeff, for coming in with your family. Dead Island, what's that about? Oh, I have also, and Queen, I wanted to tell you, happy friendiversary. We've been friends now for over 2 years. Yesterday I had my 2-year anniversary stream. It wasn't on the exact day, but I'm like, wait a minute, that means that we've all been friends for quite a while. Yeah, that means that when you started streaming, that has passed too. Did you celebrate your 2-year? My day as well. New zombie game. Okay, nice. What platform is it on? And my day as well. I'm trying to get some work done on stream because it's more fun this way. You didn't, you should. Oh, it's different though, because the first year is like, oh my gosh, I'm still here. Second year, you're like, same old. I didn't have anything special planned. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, nothing special planned. All right, so we turned that back. What a mess. Turn that back. But so, again, I appreciate you, Jeff, for bringing in your family. So hop back into what it was that we were doing. We just started a fresh React app. Okay, we got that running. I'm gonna close this one out. We don't need that because we have our own little window here. Okay. All right. So save to reload yo mama or yo sexy Jeff. Okay, and then it reloads. So no need to refresh as we go. That's called hot reloading. Now, we're going to create a new directory within. We can do it from the terminal, but you can also just use Visual Studio Code. You don't got to be all crazy. We're going to call this components. Okay. And I would say components, but I'm going to send this to the people that I'm trying to apply to. So good. Where did you send it to? So you didn't yourself have to format anything? They did all that for you? That sucks. So for those of you that don't know, Faith had some malware on her computer. Oh, he did? Okay. Oh my. Not from pornography. She knows better than that. Forgot what you said it was from, though. So what is a component? A component is just a small section. You know, download. Yeah. That's right. Oh my gosh. So Faith is on LinkedIn. She's on the hunt. And we get a lot of bots, okay? On LinkedIn, there's so many bots. It's so annoying. Did that trick help you with changing your first name to the emote? Do you see some bots using your first name? Yo, isn't that crazy? So, little trick you all for LinkedIn when you hop on. There are bots galore. Just change your first name to some emote, and it shows up nicely on your profile. And then put your first and last name in the last name field of your profile. And after that, you can filter through who's real and who's not. Now, some of them, though, if you do respond, a real person does come back to you. But don't click on any links. That's how she got this virus on her computer. So we're going to make the component called, let me think. Oh. New emotes. No, it was LinkedIn, Venus. She clicked on a link on LinkedIn. I know. And just give me just a second. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, look. Look at Deej. Oh. Did you draw that? Oh my gosh. Oh. I love this one. It looks like one of those good luck kitties. You know, the good luck Asian kitties? So cute. Good job. You got some... You could have done them too, though. But maybe that's just too tedious for you. Yeah, I guess if you can commission someone to do it, it's a lot easier, right? I don't know how mean you all are when you're getting someone to draw up your emotes. I wouldn't say I'm mean, but I'm very particular. That's why I feel bad about it. Now, I am. Venus, I know that you were in a meeting. Let me just rerun one more time what it is we're trying to achieve. Ninja Deuce. Oh my gosh. Ninja Deuce, I appreciate that. That's a lot. Look, I know how people feel about PETA, okay? Some of my really great friends work for them, and I know that some of their tactics are a little crazy, but they really do so good for animal rights. They use like, what do you call? It's like guilt trip tactics, you know, like the church. They make you feel really bad about stuff, but they do a lot of good work. But it's so sweet of you, Ninja. Yeah, no problem. You enjoy yourself. I appreciate you. You're so sweet. No, Venus. So I'll show you real quick before you hop back out into the work life. So my friend and I worked on this together for Mitsubishi. Okay, and he did the 3D part. There's this layer, there's a web layer on top. That's the part that I did. Okay, and so these little buttons, when you click on them, we navigate into these 3D spaces. Okay, you can use your VR. Yeah. So I just tell him where to go, and then he goes. Okay, you're so sweet. You're so sweet, girl. If we hopped on now I heard though that porn doesn't really do so well in VR, that it creeps people out. Yeah, I was talking to Ben about it because he had a couple of friends that are in the porn industry and they sell things, and they said it's not very easy because you have folks that just shut you down. Like at Pornhub now, what the different credit card companies, you can't, they don't accept payment from them. I don't like they denied any transactions with Pornhub. It was messed up. They're getting in people's way. Yeah, so we have different infographics. Let's like go into this is what we call hotspots. You can even go behind the seats. Shows all these different videos. We got live TV. TV can play. And what you're hearing now is it's just the sound of the engine. It says that this is really quiet, but it's not really quiet at all. It's a blowjob point of view. Okay, maybe blowjob point of view would be a little bit better. Yeah. So then it gets a little creepy. That's what Ben was saying. We can turn the hotspots off and on. So I'm trying to recreate this web layer in React. Okay. So we'll close that out because wow, that's so loud. That's so loud. Turn this down a little bit. So that'll be part 2. Okay. We'll make this into a porn. Take time. Maybe we'll play like strip poker or something. Okay, so we're gonna divide this up now. Because they look romantic. So my sister, she actually prefers to watch gay man porn, which I found so interesting. Like, why? She said, because they're really rough with each other. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And when my husband watches porn, he prefers women. But when I really think about it, I just like anime. I just want, because I can't help but think about like the people's lives. So I just want something that's a cartoon. Now, we're gonna make a new folder inside. And we're gonna call this hotspots. So we're gonna really divide up that big old JavaScript file, because what a mess. The hotspots, and then one more. No, we'll just start there. Make a new file inside. Hotspots tsx. And we're also gonna do something special. We're gonna write what do you call tests for this? Okay. So let me think. We'll do one more file, hotspots.test.tsx. All right. Oh, hold on, move it here. There you go. Perfect. Let's consider global script file. Add an import. All right, fine. Okay, that's fine. Or maybe I'm supposed to create a component the way, yes. Okay. Let's go ahead and delete these right now, actually. Let's create a component the way React wants us to create components, all right? Oh, actually, hold on. Why does this not... All of my chat's not showing up. What the heck? Yes. We're going to create a component the way React wants us to do it, okay? It's so funny that you're calling it corn. Using Patron. Let's rebuy the games. Oh. You were afraid. Bomb. You got him interested. He stopped spinning for a second. Okay, so let's go back to React on this page. Getting started with TypeScript and React. And React create component. So we're going to hop back into the terminal.
I can smell you.
Yeah, Bomb is exercising right now, but Faith got him to pause for a second. So with Angular, you'll do like, what's it called? ng create component. I don't know if React has the same. It should. It should have the same first component. There you go. Oh. Let's write command. Create component CLI. There you go. Generate. Like C++, They're just different. So it's funny that you ask, because within Unreal, there's two languages that they use. It's going to be Blueprint or C++, and that's normally what that's C language. That's what we use for things that are a little more robust and complex. But React uses either JavaScript or TypeScript, and those are scripting languages. You know all the words, you know, okay, so an SDK, that's a package that we use to communicate with something like a device. There will be an SDK that is provided to you with instructions with how to communicate with it. A pull request is when we feel that our code is ready and we want someone to take a look and approve of it and throw it in. An API is what's called Application Programming Interface. I believe that's what it stands for. And that is a set of rules that we speak with, like a phone call. You put in an endpoint and it provides you back with information, or you put information into a database, for example, or if you want to retrieve a list of numbers. So that is what we use APIs for. And a CVS, that is the pharmacy down the road. And you just, you buy stuff. You're struggling. Oh no. It's silly. Yeah, so CVS is just where you go get meds. They don't sell cigarettes anymore. It's bullshit. Okay, so you got to go to the gas station for that. No, it's okay. That's good. It's good that they don't do that anymore. But you can buy alcohol. Okay. But yeah, so let me double check. I believe it's Application Programming Interface. API definition. Usually when we say it to each other. Yeah, Application Programming Interface. Yay! Yeah, so that's the way that we communicate with each other. So someone will have like a database somewhere, whether it's local or it's on a server somewhere, and you just say, "Hey, give me a list of all the phone numbers that were generated from, I don't know, like this time of month to this time of month." Just all those are what we call parameters. And there is a term. It's an acronym. CRUD. Create. Well, oh my gosh, why am I so stupid? Create, read, update, and delete. So these are the different actions that we want to perform when we're using a database. But for you, though, Venus, when you submit any kind of work, do you have to make pull requests? Do you code at all? I imagine that with the application you use, there is code that's provided for devs to look at and pull, especially if there's like some UI, because that's what we have. We had that. Let me see. What was I doing? Yes. We're creating components. Create components. Create a component, use CLI. Okay, generally. This is a funny picture. Create a component. Okay, I guess we just like right click. We're just gonna do that then. New file. So we'll do the same thing. Hotspots TSX. I don't know why it breaks after that though. So we're just gonna grab a general, just a generic, and we'll create all functional components. Component, React, TypeScript. Just a generic one. Generic props. It doesn't no. No, don't listen to me. I don't know. I don't know very much. I'm just playing around. We'll do... My sister, she's going through interviews now with her company. Not going through. She's the one in charge of interviews. She asked somebody the question what the difference is between Angular and React. And the biggest difference that I have seen working with both was the use of states. And when I say a state, let's say that we're tracking someone's location. We want to know whether or not they're walking or they're standing still. So for Angular, you have to create services that you don't have to, but it's a little more complex. It's separate from the components, at least that's expected. For React, you can actually set that state within the component itself, and they make it a lot easier. Subscribing also to whatever states that the React component is defining is also a lot simpler than I've seen in Angular. Angular is just, it just gives me stress. Okay. So this is perfect. We'll do this. So we're going to import. We'll just do import. We're going to import React from React. And you see the tab completion. It makes it a lot easier. We'll call this, we'll just say it's just hotspots const. Hotspots equals, and this is where we put the parameters. This is, what do they call that? Arrow. I forgot what they call that. Doesn't matter. But then we're going to return something. Okay, and what we're going to return is just a generic div. Okay, and this has no properties attached to it, so there will be things like P for paragraph, all the different H1, H2, H3, H4, and on for headers, and they come with their own properties, their own margins, and we don't want any of that. We just want it to be a blank slate, and we're just going to say hotspot. Okay, now we're getting a little squiggly Y. There's no corresponding closing tag. There's a closing tag. Okay, let's go reference the one that we had created before for the tarot. So I ain't trying to do this all over again. Yeah. So that's the thing. Yeah, this is called hotspot. This has to be so silly. So we're gonna go into my GitHub. To my GitHub. Gonna sign in. Give me a second. I don't want to dox myself. Remember to use an authentication app. I use Authy. I don't know of very many others. I use it for Twitch and all sorts of things. Okay. So this is me. Sent 299. Great. Okay. We're gonna go into my project called My Deck. So let's look into the code. What do we call it? GH pages. Was it not that? Was it main? Let's view all the branches. Test cards. It is GH pages. It's my deck, yeah. It was pretty cool. Actually, I don't know if y'all saw this. I'm really proud of it, actually. Let me go watch that real quick, just so that y'all can get a whiff. Let's go. LS. LS is list everything that's within. So we're gonna go CD into React cards. Cards. It might not be this one. Is it this one? Just in case. CD React. What's in here? TypeScript cards. I was just making all kinds of trouble, huh? CD into my app. Like I just don't even know where anything's at. Yeah, I was really proud of this one. Let me see. Compiled. Good. npm start. Yes. Not this one. Oh, is it this one? It is, yeah. So that's an old one. So let's go into the different, we're going to check out a different branch. Get branch. Is it all? Get branch all. Oh, it's not this one. CD TypeScript cards. Not this one either. Maybe a simpler way, CD into React cards. Ben is so in love with his Steam Deck, oh my goodness. He calls it, he always says at the end of the day, I'm like, what are you gonna do today? He's like, I'm gonna play with my deck. I'm like, ooh, it's funny. Yeah, remote. And then let's check the branches in this. Yeah, where did I put it? I'm so sad now. React. Yeah, he's so silly. He loves it so much. Is it reaction? Gosh. No, that's not it either. It TypeScript cards again. This is it. LSSRC. That might be it. I hope. Now I'm sad. You know what? Let's just do... My glasses. I don't have glasses on, though. What do you mean? The glasses where? I was wearing glasses yesterday. I was. You are so cute. It's React cards. Why is Venus? Why are you so cute? Venus, do you wear glasses? This one. It's TypeScript cards again. My goodness, yes. Get checkout. GH pages. Ugh. That's okay. NPM. Start. You're wearing glasses? Maybe you need to get your glasses checked. I was gonna wear glasses today. I was wearing them yesterday. My oh, there we go. You ready? I'm so proud of this. So proud. Okay, so this is I took all the little tarot cards that I had made. Not made, but I took the art from them and I put little words behind it, so when you hover, something shows up. Hover, hover, hover. Okay, and then what if we want a 5-card spread? Boop. Whoa. I think it's bad. Worst vision. You know, so unfortunate. That's about mine too. Yeah, well, that's me too. One eye is 4.25, the other one's 4.5. Yeah, so this is, I would love to turn this into a mobile app. So this is what we did with React. We're going to take a look at this code so it can help us with some of the component organization. Okay? Yeah, so I'm really proud of it. Super duper proud. Start cracking out. Okay, we're going to put that on the side. Okay. And then we're going to open that. All right. Let's put this on the side as well. You guys wear your glasses. Yeah. You know, can you imagine if we didn't have contact lenses or glasses? We would be done for. We would legit be peddlers. Okay, so we'll put this on the side and let's take a look at the organization here. Okay. So let's clean this up a little bit. Card TSX. Let's clean this up a little bit. So we got function, card, const, hotspots. We'll do function. Function. Call hotspots, just so we can keep to this, okay? Oh my gosh, I know, same. It's a mess. It's a mess. No, we'll leave that. We'll leave that. And then let's see what our return looks like. Because the return part, that is a mess. Why doesn't it like that? So we'll do export default hotspots. Okay. Semicolon, because freaking out. And we're exporting so that we can use it elsewhere. Okay. Import create element from React. We don't need that. And actually, we probably don't even need this. At least not yet. So it really doesn't like this. Oh, because I'm a dumbass. Okay. No, we shouldn't say that about ourselves. There. That should be better. Default const. Sorry. There. Okay. Better. All right. So now we shouldn't have any errors here. So let's go back into the React app. better. So let's go ahead and, because we're exporting this, let's go see if it works. We're gonna throw that into the app TSX. We're gonna import hotspots from hotspots. You see, it auto completes for us, and we're gonna go ahead and throw that right. Let's do something with that. Okay, so we're gonna comment that out. Hot spots. That should work. No? Let's do this. Doesn't like that? Doesn't like it? No. We don't like that. It is red. Okay. Organize them differently, okay? Don't like that either? Alright, then let's take a look at what we did before. Hello, Wavy! How are you? How is everything? Okay, so hotspots, card. Yeah, it doesn't like that. I don't understand why. Let's just go ahead then and declare it the way we do in card, okay? So we're gonna do export default hotspots, okay? And then cons hotspots. How are you? What are you doing? What are you? You're so sweet. You are so sweet. Right now we're trying to convert something over to React, and once we can get all this going, it should be okay. I know it's taken a hot minute, but don't you worry. That's how it is. It's not fast. Okay, so function card. And let's make sure this doesn't encompass everything. It does encompass everything. So we need to turn this into a functional component then. Function hotspot. Okay. Okay. Oh, you're so sweet. David, you're so sweet. You don't need to do that. And let's actually close that out. We don't need that right now. What are you doing, the housework? Ooh. I think that you'll appreciate something, Wavy. So Wavy is an aircraft mechanic. So right now we're trying to recreate the UI that we have for this project here. Oh, no, cancel. Wrong button. Wrong button. Look. Did you know that Mitsubishi wanted to make planes once upon a time? Nobody was okay with it. Of course! No one was buying it. They're like, no, Mitsubishi, you don't make planes. You make motorcycles. And really light trucks. Yeah, we can hop around. So all these little buttons here, we're trying to recreate that slowly in React. All the large overhead bins. So it's just these front buttons that we're making, okay? Converting it from JavaScript to TypeScript. All right. Ah, I made my music stop. No, it didn't. Music's still going. Yeah, but no one wanted to buy. Okay, and then hotspot. There we go. That should be better. And no. Hotspot. That should work. Ready? Here we go. Okay, it doesn't like something here. What doesn't it like? We're gonna import React. Maybe that's why I import React from React. No, don't be sorry. How is work today? Are you all getting things done? Is work a happy day? Okay, let's make sure. 1 p.m. Oi. So, I didn't mention this before, my lovely, but the big reason why I am doing this is and that's why. Silly me. Okay, there we go. That should work. You work later on tonight? Mm-hmm. So look, it's so tiny, but it did work. There we go. So now we can get moving. All right, let's move this out of the way and this out of the way. Within Hotspot, we're gonna start to now convert some code over. But so the previous company that I was a part of, they had layoffs. Unfortunately, I was part of the layoffs. They got rid of the bulk of their remote workers, so they only have one left that's domestic, and they have some contractors that are international and just a couple that are full-timers. It's all right. That's just the nature of things. So whenever, at least in the United States, the companies that I have been working for, fortunately, I know, Ignis. Perhaps I shouldn't say it's doxing, but I'll text you, Wavy. So, because it's a pretty small company. No, it's okay, it's okay. So when bigger companies go through layoffs, I think a lot of the smaller ones get kind of nervous. But come to find out that a lot of the revenue they thought that they had, they didn't quite have. So they give you a nice severance for the most part. So I'm good for a couple of months. And Iggy, I don't know if you remember this, Iggy. You were there for it, but I'm sure you were working on different things. But I'm going to recreate this because it was written in a jQuery and convert it over to TypeScript. Okay. So the Ignis and I were part of the same company when we were working on this. He didn't work on this with me, but you are good. No. Oh my gosh, Venus. I have been going to the library. I have been cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner for my family and myself. I've been like a real mommy. I've been able to read stories for my son during the day and not feel like I'm I don't know. You know, you just get the itchy feeling that you should be doing something else, and it's just been so nice. I was telling Faith about how I just want to relax. I would love to relax for a little longer if I could. 2 months is what I have asked Husby if it's okay. So with that severance, I do get to chill for a bit. And look, there's only 3 things that I want to do. I just want to spend time with my family and friends, read scripture, and play with my cards and code for fun. I really don't want to do it for work, but that's what makes money. So, oh my gosh. So sometimes, yes, I would love that. Oh my gosh, yes. So Venus, for all those of you who don't know, she works for Riot. I pass there sometime. I've been going to the beach. I've just been reading and journaling on the beach like a boss, and I feel really great about it. That would be so nice. That'd be so nice. Please. You're so sweet. You're so sweet. But I'm glad that Riot is being... I know that Riot and Apple, there are not very many, but not all the bigger companies are laying people off. Yes, that would make me so happy. Oh my goodness. And pretty soon we have to go on your, we have a bachelorette party coming up. I can't wait. Okay, so back to it, my loves. Iggy, how do you enjoy React? Do you like it? I know that you all aren't using TypeScript, but you're using ECMAScript. Do you enjoy it? So let's see. Let's start with, we don't have to, it's in the very beginning, clear events, okay? Let's just take a look at what I think I'm doing, okay? Combine commands. So these commands here, this is what I'm telling, I remember this is about 5 years ago, okay? Right now, this is what I'm telling Unreal what to do. And it was asked of me, because this was a plugin that was written by, and I'll just say Joe, okay? That's not doxing. Told me to give him a string that has an array within. So that's what we do. The test works, and for each one, I guess I made just this one landing. I'm not sure why, but I know that he had created his own method, and it's called Radiant. So I'm detecting whether or not that's what he called the plugin. I need to double check whether or not Radiant exists, and if it does, you remember that engine sound we were hearing? That's when I trigger the event engine sound. So he asked me for everything within. You send what that first command word, and he gives me that prompt, and then an array. Okay, so let's start from the very top. We'll go ahead and let's first grab this profile. Let's do that. Let's read from this JSON. Okay, I'm gonna copy that over, and within public, we're gonna make an assets folder. Assets. And within there, we're going to make a config folder because I want to separate out the assets because we have a number of videos and pictures, icons. So we'll keep this all organized, and then new file, Mitsubishi. We'll just call it Mitsubishi profile JSON. Yeah. Copy everything here, save that, and then we're gonna try to read from this. Okay. We're gonna, yes, let me make sure. So originally, because this is static, I had to turn this into a JavaScript, and that made it easy enough. We called it JSON data, so it's just be a little bit different. See, he's stealing snacks at the post. We just love free stuff. Free is my favorite price. Okay, and we can sort of take a look at the breakdown here. We're using what's called viewport width to determine where these buttons go. For you, free 99. So let's just see if we can read from this first. We're gonna go back to the way that we set up the cards. Okay, and same deal, where did I put it? Did I put the config right next to the components? These still hard. No, sorry. You should be working. You know what? Whenever, so Ignis works actually with my husband, and I was like, oh yeah. And then Iggy was with me, and he was helping me do stuff. He's like, he was. I was like, yeah, it's fun to work on. It's helping me. It's just fun to try something new and get it right. It is like puzzle solving. Agreed. Oh yeah, whatever. He helps me. You don't help me, honey. All right, so we're gonna require. Let's put it here. We are gonna require, and let me make sure that I get it right. So we go out with the card, out one again. Let's look at the file structure. Hopefully, sometimes when you start to put it in, yes, beautiful. It tells you what directory that would be in. Good. We're gonna go one more out because we want to hit that public slash assets slash mit config slash, there you go. So it's really nice thing about Visual Studio Code. And we're gonna call this hotspots. Okay, and let's see if that comes through. Console, we're gonna console log hotspots. Okay. I'm gonna save that. What falls outside the project? Does it? Oi. Alright, well then let's just, okay, then we'll just put it inside. We'll just put it inside storage, just keep it. Fine. And I'll rearrange that later. Should be good. Let's see if that works. You want a competition? What kind of competition? Oh, what? You know, Ignis, you're so like the Chinese Empire. Why don't you just embrace new stuff? Would you use a hammer and chisel in place of a drill? Okay, let's make sure that that worked. So I'll tell you what, the Ignis he's quite a brilliant developer, but he really holds to old tech. I don't know why. I think that that's the Chinese in you. For another pet portrait. Oh, good for you. It's a good idea. Yeah, you gotta have one vice. Yeah, because you have like no vices, so that makes sense. Okay, that seemed to work. And let's see what comes through. Look at that. Look at that. So we got your hot spots. It's super small. Beep, beep, beep. Let's make it really big because my eyes are bad. And I should feel bad. Now, all of our hot spots here organized by ID. These are all unique IDs that were generated by the content management system that Ignis had created for a previous company that their current company also uses. So instead of pulling from a CMS, we just saved what was in the JSON for this. Okay. Okay, so we got hotspots, labels. I try not to squint my eyes. I was told by my eye doctor when I was young, don't squint your eyes, it makes them worse. So I don't. But also, by default, I don't need to squint my eyes. My eyes are already like this. And then all the media. And that's for the different images and the different infographics. Really great. Super helpful. At that point, if you're squinting your eyes, you should just get glasses. Okay, so we're able to read our data. Let's make some hot spots, y'all. So let's go back into, and this we don't need that console log anymore. I know, that's what it is. That's what it is. I asked Ben, about this project. I was like, are we breaking any NDAs with it? He said they don't exist anymore, so it's fine. That's that word. So this is actually perfect. It works out in our favor. Okay, so how are we getting all... Well, okay, we're getting all the... Okay, this is for the cards. Let's go back to the other one. That's my mistake. Hotspots. This one. There. Okay, so back to common. How are we grabbing everything? Got labels, special pop-up. So I made a common object of methods. Because this is touchscreen, we want to block clicks. But for right now, I really just want to, what we call populate these hotspots, okay? Let me close this right here. Start. Look at all this stuff. What a mess. And so ideally, you got get thumb, get thing, make elements. So we want all these things to be separated out instead of in one big old JavaScript file. So let's see where our hotspot logic is. So pop-up function, elements, blocking click. This has class. Pop-up asset function. Wow, this is so much. Jeez. Hotspots, use functions, JS commands, toggle U hotspots, rating commands. Let me make sure that it's not in main then. Oh, well, thank you. Appreciate you. Whenever I do my braid, I try to like spread it out to make it look like I got more hair than I do. Oh. I appreciate you very much. Okay. So this seems to be, yes, this is actually the main JS is where we're populating things. Makes sense. So from the pop-up container, let me make sure. The pop-up container seems to already have been made. So we're going to go take a look at the structure of the index HTML. So this is the body. Here we're going to grab some of these things so we can reuse that logic. We're going to throw that here. We're going to return this. It doesn't like that at all. Why? Why don't you like that? Ah, because it needs to be within a bigger, like, can we do a body? Are we allowed to do that? It needs to be in one bigger element, one parent element. Yeah, I don't like that. Speaking of sticking old tech, you quit jQuery. Though a few of our things haven't been updated. Gets cringy going back to fix bugs. I agree. I agree. So we added the class fade out here, but why don't you like that? Ah, because class name. Okay. So this is the structure, but let's just for the sake of, because we don't really, and then let's put class name here too. Class name. We'll make this a div also, because it's assumed that React already makes the body for us. Okay, so we're going to save that. Let's fix the tab. Okay, that looks a lot better. Come on, when I'm going to start. Well, so I'll break these out as I go. Oh, we got the pop-ups, we have a container, we have hotspots, but just for the structure and where it is I'm putting this on, I'll just keep that for now, because I have a lot of CSS that I'm not trying to redo. And CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. And I think I have one big CSS file. There's everything. What a mess. Okay. So ideally you want to attach each one to their components. That's okay. It's okay for now. It's just whether or not I can do it. Okay. So let's see. Let's see if that computed. You need to enable JavaScript to run this. Okay. So from the root, yes. So body is already here. I didn't need to declare that. And from within, you got a root. Okay, logo, landing, great. So everything is working as it should. So now let's go ahead and populate some hotspots. All right. So back into the main special sort commands. I see. So we also did this for the Surface Pro. That's why I'm giving it an ID standard, but we won't worry about that for now. We got cold spots, landing spots. Cold spots, I believe, was for the outer labels. Hot spots were for the smaller ones. There were just so many buttons everywhere. Okay. Let me see what I got going on. Nope. Yeah, let's go back to this. Let's go back to this. And I wonder if, is this different? Are these different from each other? They are different from each other. Why would we have two different ones? Why, Iggy, why? So I am reading JSON data special sort commands. Okay. And then we're initiating UI for the landing. Initiating UI, just JSON data. Let's see. Go to definition. All right. So within, there's so many divs as well. Oh, this is going to be a mess. Let's start with CMS cold spots. We'll call this, just for the sake of keeping to this, JSON data. Okay. We say const and not let because this JSON data is never going to change. For cold spots, they shouldn't change either. Okay. And so for this function, initialize UI, I'm throwing in the object. Perhaps it would be easier if, don't say sorry. You're working, you're so sweet. No, you're so sweet. And landing. And let me double check with, let's go look at how we're implementing it. Go to references. Okay. Special init. Let's go back up. Special init UI. Let me see what this landing is. And I don't even know if that's required. See, and again, with JavaScript, you know, maybe this parameter isn't even required, and then I have it, and I'm not even using it. Ah, there it is. So if there is no landing, that is the ID I'm giving it. See, that doesn't even seem like it makes any sense. See, this is bad. Bad. Bad code. Bad. All right. Let's write a function. Function. Init UI. Just for the sake of that. And we're gonna we'll just go ahead and do object. Object. Let's call it something different. Data. Yeah. And the landing, that's where I want it to go. That will be a string, I believe. Let me double check. Yes, it's a string. Okay, and so this is the ID that I'm going to give. I'm sure it's the container. I believe it's the container. We're going to make sure that even works. And I do this all the time as I go. People like Iggy is able to just write and then see if it works, and for the most part it does. So we're going to init UI. And what I think I want to do is I'm going to go make a common JS file to add this, similar to what we did here, or TSX. So we're going to import some functions from it so we don't have to repeat all this. And then we're going to do JSON data, and then landing, we'll give it yo mama. Oi, I appreciate you for caring about such things. You know, I do so love women who want to learn about stuff. It makes me very happy. I appreciate you. Well, let's double check. Okay, and yo mama, it works. So let's go ahead and make a new, we're gonna make a new directory. We're gonna call it, what should we call it? And I say you're per React. You're not really. I'm a word off. Stupid. You're using JavaScript tests. Okay. Because we hate Rod. Oh. Why don't you all just use TypeScript? It's a lot easier to understand. For things like me you see me going back and reading the old code that I don't even know why I did what I did. We're gonna call it utils. Util stands for utility, but just for the sake of how others do it, and so that we can read it in the future, years from now, common.tsx. We're going to keep to the methods that other folks use. It's okay. Legibility is more to programming language. Yeah. See, now it's just debatey time. Okay. No, because when you use TypeScript, example, declaring whether or not this parameter is a string or not is really important. Now, I could have said landing string, right? And data object, but I didn't. And so a dev like me, the time that I had written the old code, I didn't write it like that. So unless we're putting standards in, like we're forcing standards, then people are just going to do whatever they want, you know? It is. It's all, legibility is right now the reason for why I'm rewriting this, and also in TypeScript, so that even if I did put landing string, I should declare, because I would like to test this. I want to write tests for all this too. And I'm going to try to keep to that no matter what new job I have. Even if they don't require testing, I must. It's really important. This is what most other jobs require. So in the utils folder, let's go ahead and throw this function init UI. Okay, it says that we don't have it. I know. So we're gonna do export const init UI equals arrow. And let's see if we can grab that. We're going to import init UI from utils, and that should work. It should work exactly the same. Okay, so now we clean this up. The component is just structured around grabbing hotspots, instead of having these other functions that I can tell I used elsewhere. So now different components can pull from the same utilities file. Okay. These are common functions. That's why I named it common, but maybe it's to be a little more explicit. No, it's okay. Yeah, just leave it common. Yeah. All right. So it still works. Let's give it a different word. Oh my gosh. Hi, Dr. Crenshaw. It's nice to see you. Oh, Lucy Goosey Jaws here, less you. Yeah, I know. I know. And it's great for when we want to write something fast, right? It's nice to see you, Dr. Crenshaw. How are you? I appreciate you. Oh my gosh. Yo, yesterday. So also, happy 2-year friend anniversary. Oh my gosh. I'm well, thank you. Doing a little bit of work. Work for a new job that I want to snag. But I'm well. What are you doing these days? I appreciate you for coming in. All right. I kind of want to... you know what? Let's just go ahead and grab some other of these common functions because I know that we're gonna be using others. Pop-up function. Sort commands. Let's do sort commands next. Yes. Happy friendiversary. So sort commands. Called it special, and that comes from common. Let's do sort commands. Okay, and so this is also meant for the hotspots. Why are we sorting them though? See, no one knows. Well, I don't, and if I don't, because I wrote it, then no one will. So let's just see. We're sorting them based off of what? The parameters. But why do I need to sort them? Is this necessary? Oh my gosh, look at this. Split, join, array. That's nested. Oh. And we grab the 4th element in the array. Horrible. Horrible. This is terrible. Well, then let me see what this comes out with. Okay, let's just see like what comes out when we do that. What a mess. Iggy, what a mess. Okay, for I and Hassan. And then what am I doing? Why am I doing that? Object. If the commands... So if there is a command... And let's compare, okay? What is it I'm trying to do? I know that within the... Let's go to the config. Let's go back to that JSON. Within... Let's see how we label these things. So we're looking at the hotspots, okay? Hotspots. So for... We're iterating through object hotspots, all right? Massage therapy, really? That's cool. What is the reason why you want to go into massage therapy? There are many things that one can do, but that's pretty cool. Here we go. So within each command, I gave it clearly an array that contains strings. Okay, so what is it for? I see. One is for Unreal, one is for JavaScript. This is gonna get very busy. Thinking of the best way to move forward. Oh my gosh. What a mess, Iggy. What a mess. We're going to try to not use for loops as much as possible. We're going to try to use the prototypes that they have for arrays because this is just too difficult to read. But I see what I was thinking. And also, it's not to say anything against the CMS, but at the time I wanted to try something new, and that was adding command, because you can just do whatever you want with the CMS that Ignis had created. So this made sense for me and Joe at the time. So let's just use what we have. Just want to help people. Oi. You know, Dr. Crenshaw, and I don't know how you feel about this, and I was talking about this with Iggy too, because I had done his cards recently. We get to a point where with what we have, we just want to give. And I really love that. And I don't know if it goes hand in hand with age. I'm sure that everybody wants to help in some way. But that has become it's taken up a lot of my thoughts. So right now I'm in between jobs because of a recent layoff. And whatever it is that I move forward with, whether it's in hobby or if it's with work, I do want it to be more of a subservient position. because I feel better about it. Yes, so .map, find every, we're gonna try to clean this up so we don't have to double it up like this, because what a mess. What a mess. Each, right? Okay, so now we know the structure. Let's go see how we can clean this up. Okay. Export, const, sort, commands. Ooh, 2 M's. Boy, you as well. But yeah, I'm trying to be more thoughtful now with whatever it is that I pursue. I think for a long time we all just want a job that pays the bills, but I don't know. It makes me feel a little empty inside, and I don't want to feel like this anymore. But when do you start? Have you already applied and everything? Yeah. You know, no problem. Go. Yeah, so today, my husband's company, they're in the moving process. But you go. Thank you, Iggy, for coming through. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I had done a reading for another friend, and she just said straight up, I'm just looking for what my purpose is. No, we're not moving. Their company is moving from downtown. They have a downtown spot to a different location. So that's why Ben's not in the house today. I don't know if Iggy's part of that. Maybe he's not. I don't know. Yeah, no, my love. I'd let you know. You'd be the first one to let know. So, but yeah, she's like, she just wants to know what her purpose is. And if we don't know, and that is something that we're looking for, I think a good start, another one of my buddies had mentioned, just to help relieve the suffering of those around them. That's always a great start, you know, and without any pressure on ourselves, just the best that we can, because it's a hard thing to do. Okay, and then, oh, this is what we call an arrow function. So I'm going to move this back. Beep, beep. Okay, so we are also, we're not just going to do a console log. We're going to do for each, and again, we'll do a data, and it's going to be an object. I would like to do something later on, and we'll come back to it with declaring what sort of object it is. So we're going to make our own types later, though. Okay. Now, data for each. That be okay to do? It's in. Let's look at some methods for strictly for objects. Object iteration. TypeScript. Let's look at something that's cleaner. See all these 4s? I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Even though it's kind of okay. Object entries. That's a little bit better. Yeah, it might not be able to. So we do want to go through each one. So we will use map then. Well, improve once. Okay, so data, we'll do data.keys. It's not going to be an array, though. Let me just make sure. Because because the way that I'm moving through an object. Wake up day, what am I supposed to be doing? Yes. So data.keys. Oh wait, sorry. Object.keys and then data.map. And let me double check. Iggy, you're supposed to be in a meeting. We're all going through the motion until you wake up one day and ask, what am I supposed to be doing? I know. Agreed. Agree, good sir. What is this? Why did I highlight that? Not this. That was in the different. Here we go. Okay. So we'll just say, we'll do key. And then console log data key. Doesn't like that. It's okay. No, don't like that. Okay. No, console, log, data. Don't like that either. Why not? I'm stupid. Key. Why don't you like that? No signature and parameter string was found. Does it have to be a string? It makes such a question. You live to work? That's a great question. So, I was working to live. And I have been asking God for things like, I hate, it's a real like low level. I hate when I install new software. Installing new software and getting kind of up and running, you know, similar to this, just starting a new project and then kind of putting things together so stuff actually works. So I was like, can I find happiness in small things like that? So trying to flip it, if you would, to enjoy the small moments. But for the most part, when I'm doing something that I don't enjoy doing, it's really hard to live to work. The day before I got laid off, I just wanted to not work late that day, and I was just playing Ori, and I wanted to finish it, even though I had some tasks that still needed to be done, because I was just dreading the next day. And I don't want to be like that anymore. It makes me so sad. Or even when, you know, we have time off and I just want to hang out with the babies and I'm just thinking about work. I hate that feeling. It makes me so angry. One thing you try to do is find joy in small things. I'm trying. Yes, same. I'm trying so hard. And naturally, when you're not working, it's easy because you get to do whatever you want. But then when I hop back into it, I really need to change my habits. I really need to change my perception. I can find happiness in it, only somehow in the victories. But I do feel like that the work that I do is like JRPG. You're just constantly grinding. And then you get small victories. And the only time I'm actually really happy is when we complete the game or the project. So it's all perspective, because I feel like perhaps this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know. I'm trying to be open. But yeah. Okay, so it doesn't like this at all. We're just going to babysit it through. Hey, your YouTube algorithm. Some influencers doing grind or die mindset. You're on YouTube? Or you mean you're going with that, the way you think about work is the same as the YouTube algorithm? I feel that when it comes to YouTube and Twitch, there's a lot of similarities with like how people are thinking. Yes. I'll see. With what they think you should be watching. Let me see YouTube. What does YouTube think I should watch? Go home. Let's see what we got. Got Lord of the Rings lo-fi. Okay, we got a little cute little Jesus stuff. Look, it's Faith. Welcome to. Look at her. ASM. Just a little Faith. Today we're gonna be doing an emoji challenge. Dude, it is. Yeah. So she's part of my. I don't subscribe to many folks, so it's nice that I have my algorithm's not annoying. I like what I see. Jesus is up there. Yep. He's got Jesus and faith. Goes hand in hand. How are you, dude? How are you? Just look at her. We can touch her face. You can touch her face. Touch her face. She's so pretty. All right. So my algorithm is not frustrating, but my main account it is a little bit. But dude, what are you doing? It's nice to see you. How are you? Coding right now. It's super exciting. So So we'll just, okay, we'll just do, we'll try to clean that up later. The same thing that we were doing up here. I'll select data. And then do 4 each instead. Maybe that'll work. Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure. Dude, I'm glad that you're back. I heard for a moment that, you know, maybe it was a little tough, but I'm glad that you're back in it. Do you feel better? I personally feel that streaming is quite therapeutic because we can hang out with each other while we're working or while we're driving. Omelets. Omelette du fromage. It's just so silly. From time to time. Okay, he ain't got no schedule. All right. But it's hard to push the stream button. But when we do, I never regret it. You should, Bomb. You should. Did you get your DJ set, Bomb? Y'all, this guy is so funny. Hold on. So that's on Instagram. Hold on. What is it? Instagram Parmesan? Parmesan, the DJ. He's so funny. DJ Parmesan. This guy. Yo, this guy reminds me of Bomb. It was the funniest one that he did. Might have been. He's just funny all around. But there's my favorite. I was showing everybody. Anyone who would watch and listen to my shit. I think it's LimeWire. It's LimeWire. This one. Yes. This is my favorite one.
You gotta watch.
That's Bomb.
Look at the dark cloud. Sitting in my scraper watching Oakland going wild. Tat
So loud.
Mainstream, I knock underground. All that other shit sugar coated and watered down.
So loud, so loud. Look at this guy. That's a bomb, bomb. I know, right? It wasn't this one though. It might have been when he was going nuts. Is it this one? No, no, no. He dances and he goes crazy and it's hilarious. I'm sad that I can't find it now. Oh, yo. Not this one. Still though. He holds it everywhere. He even brings it with him on his shows, look. He has his feather duster here. And I think this is here in LA. I can't remember. Tears of the Kingdom. The black hat. Let me check. It might have been. Is it this one? It's the Oh, I Think You Like Me. Oh, I Think You Like Me. This one? It might be. But this is my favorite mix of his, though. I don't know. I don't know Tears of the Kingdom. What is Tears of the Kingdom? He has so many. He's always posting stuff. Okay, anyway, I love this guy. I watch him, and I love him. It's Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, yes. Yeah, I think so. It's been such a long time. It's your boy Link Snooki. Good. Good. Did you play the Breath of the Wild? It's not a stupid question. I love it. I'm super excited, but not as excited, I guess, as I was for Ragnarok. So, yeah, you know, but I've been waiting a long time for this. It was supposed to come out years ago. What the heck? We thought it was going to come out, like, I don't know, the end of 2021. Happen. So we'll see. I'm going to let my husband play first. When he started playing the Breath of the Wild, and I just kind of took it from him. Next Friday. You finished it? Good, good. When did you finish it? Long ago? You can't bring yourself to finish it. Why? That's cute. Oh, it won't be over. Did you do? Did you do all of the shrines? It's worth it. As far as getting all the seeds, I think there's like 500. I don't feel like that's worth it. I finished. Got too hard. You got frustrated. So I was able to finish the master trials, and that one was pretty insane. Yeah, there's like 500 of them. Forget that. 900. No, it's too many. Might as well make it 1,000. Why stop at 900? That's insane. But it does force us to explore everywhere. There's also the hero mode where you can traverse where what you've done and where you've died, and you can fast forward it, and it showed where I'm going, and it'll go where I died, but it was usually where the Lionels were. So I think I clocked over 200 hours of that game. It was very, very long. Afterwards, though, they had the Zelda Symphony Orchestra. I shouldn't call it the Zelda Symphony Orchestra. There was an orchestra that performed music from Zelda, and that was here in LA. So after that game, Ben and I went, and it was really nice. Okay, all right, all right. I won't be such a hater. Let me see. Let's see. Oh, wrong button. Yo. Yeah, dude was saying next Friday.
We rely on your knight and that legendary sword he carries. Our last line of defense will be Link.
She cut her hair.
Link.
It's just a little pixie.
I know why I am here. It's something only I can do.
Do not look away.
Yo,
It's a king's revival.
it's too many Lionels.
Birth of his new world.
Okay, let's go! But you are not alone.
Oh,
Link,
You can fight with people now.
You are our final hope.
Alright, I'm hyped. Shoot. Okay. Actually, it looks a lot better than what I first saw. And is there anything more? Oh, there is.
Link. You must find me.
Nice. Fun fact. I only learned this not too long ago. Ganondorf, if you look at his past, he is actually the progeny of a Gerudo witch that was able to split into two. Hi, Shadow Knight. How are you, my sweet? We were just watching the Tears of the Kingdom. I was hating a little bit because of how long it took them to come out with this game, but it looks quite epic, and you get to play with other folks, so it's similar fighting style. Looks like the Final Fantasy VII remake, so that's pretty cool, I suppose. Yeah, I'm excited. Maybe I got a little bit of goosebumps, but I'm still gonna let Ben play first because I took the first one from him. Not nice. But yeah, so Ganondorf is the offspring of a singular Gerudo witch that split into two. So technically, he has two moms, and it makes sense to me because the Gerudo people, they, that the Amazons, men are not welcome. So I wonder if he had a hard time growing up. Yeah, I think it's amazing. But the witch, the double witch, we fought her somewhere. I forget which game it was though. I watched Neko play the first one. It's gonna be a second one. You've been putting it off. Oh. They are all female, yes. But they have to procreate. And so they go out and they find men. But I wonder if they get rid of any boys. We don't know. But they're human-like. I know that in Breath of the Wild there was one Gerudo who was in a relationship with some outsider. I know, so he was probably put off. That's why he's so angry. It's my assumption. That's why he's so angry. He didn't have any friends. Where are all the dudes? He was probably cast out. Okay, so Shadow Knight. This is different. Today is different. Oh, but Breath of the Wild could take, if you haven't played it at all, there's a lot to catch up on. See, Dude and Venus, they don't even want to finish it because number one, there's some hard parts in it, but I know the feeling of if I beat it, then that's kind of it for me. Oh no. Oh, Ganondorf. They don't do a lot of his background. I wish they did. We have the backstory for like everybody else except for Ganondorf. Yeah, okay. I highly recommend it. I spent over 200 hours in it, and it was a little much. But getting all the shrines, I had a little help from walkthroughs for some of these other shrines. That was worth it. I feel it's not worth it to get all of the Korok seeds. I thought it was over 500, and technically it is, but dude says there's 900. That's way too many. It's way too many. Where? Oh, I just did it. You know, no one was getting any dinner for a while, but that's okay. And even when it came to the master trials, I may have been coming home. This is when we were still going to the office to play. So yeah, you know, when you really want to do something, you just kind of do it. And then I did. That final fight in the master trials, you only got the one. Well, I had a blue arrow, and there's all these monsters everywhere, and there's a Lionel right in the center. And I saw in a video that you have to defeat the Lionel, and then they all will die. So I just shot it at him, and then thank goodness I was able to finish. And at that point, I felt, okay, I'm good. I tried a little bit of Master Mode. I have the bike, and I also have these cards. Do you all remember Amiibo? There was like this campaign for us to buy the figurines, my sister bought these little cars. Actually, I'll have to find them for next time. But she bought like this little stack, and you could just there's amiibos. But yeah, I got the bike. I was playing also on the Wii U. But yeah, so I may have been out of office from time to time and staying up really late. And it's actually pretty easy to finally get to Ganondorf. But when you beat it, dude, you still kind of want to play. After I had beat it, there was just so much to explore still that I would. And I'd make time to go to the beach because it was really pretty. So I think that even if you beat it, you'll still want to. Now, now that you're here, Shadow, let me show you something. This is what I was trying to show you all yesterday. This is a project that a friend of mine and I worked on at a previous company. This is when Mitsubishi thought that they wanted to make airplanes. This didn't go anywhere, but with the help of a 3D artist, they gave us all the assets. An Unreal developer put this part together, and I put the front end. There would be little buttons, and whatever buttons I clicked from my side gave him instructions, and we were able to move around this airplane. So this is all touchscreen or VR. Okay, and you see these little buttons. Whatever you click on takes us to another spot of the airplane. You can go inside. You can check out the seats. We got hot spots everywhere. And this is the large cabin. Overhead bins. So it was me and another developer made this, but the 3D assets were not made by us. So I'm trying to rewrite this in React because it's written in JavaScript. Let's see what's inside. We'll go in. So these are the little seats. You got live TV. Yeah. And so for the company that I was talking about yesterday, this is similar to what they do. They have their own plugin for the web to UI communication. You just learn like Shadow Knight. Shadow Knight is just making time on Free Code Camp. And so I'll show you here. Yeah, go on Free Code Camp. This is the interface I was talking about. So this is a web window that sits on top. And as I traverse through, it sends Unreal commands. Okay. Got little infographics. We got a movie in here somewhere. This is very old. And if some of the code is rather messy, so I'm reorganizing it. It's just like a monolith of stuff. Like, let me see how many. This is just the common. Let me see how many lines. It's like 400 lines of code. Yes, free 99. Look. So free code camp. We were looking over this yesterday. If you have any questions to, let me know. I already signed in. Great. So it still has my information. What was the one? The coding interview prep. I thought that was pretty nice. You could just hop right in. You know what? And now that we're here, some of the things that they do ask about, binary search is one of them. Hash tables. I always hear about hash tables. Because bubble stars, I appreciate this. And let's see, when it comes to get help, get a hint. Ooh. Oh, and they even give you the solutions. Good. So taking the time to look through these things will be super helpful when it comes to the pair programming when you're interviewing. Yeah, Tears of the King. I know. It takes a lot of time. That's true. Started coding through FCC. Free Code Camp. Yep. Just started. So, and I think you can appreciate this, Shadow Knight, that we're using here, though, a lot of jQuery, but we're populating everything dynamically. So if you're already going through HTML and CSS, you're probably familiar already with divs. So this is how we did it in our job together, Joe and I, and Ignis, who was here earlier, who created the content management system that we pull from. So we were creating everything dynamically, and I'll show you all exactly what that means. So from here, let's go into the inspect element. Yes, I did. Okay, sorry. Hi, Papa Berg. Yes, Ignis is part of, Ignis worked on the content management system. Oi. Okay. Oh no. Oh, my friends. So I have to go pick up my son from his daycare now. But I appreciate all of you for coming in. He bit somebody. He's bad. He's bad. So yeah. Everything's okay. He's not sick or anything. I appreciate all of you. Yeah. Bad. Yes, whenever he bites, we have to send him away. We have to give him away. I know. Yeah, I read that they stopped doing it when they're 3 and 4. And I thought that we talked about this, but he's too small to understand, I suppose. So anyway, let me go see. Let's go give our love to a friend. I would love to raid Zinka. Zinka, she likes to play. So number 1, she's also into tech. Yeah. Yeah. So Zinka is also into tech. Really lovely woman. Thank you. And here, let me do. We'll do spicy raid. Okay. And she loves games that have substance. All right. So I hope that you all have a chance to get to know her. But if not, I appreciate all of you. Raid Zinka. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll see you all soon, okay?